A major price prediction correction to the downside. This is going to spook the market. We're also going to talk some XRP price because Ripple's been buying and Ripple's been getting some money. I've got an update for you regarding those crypto regs as they're trying to move it forward for a subcommittee vote. We'll talk that, Garlinghouse, the Fed, along with...
I say lots of naughty things, so here's your warning.
Along with the fact that I just got done with a 5-mile run. Took the dogs with me for the last few miles being backup. Now, before we get into the crypto news, like the small rebound that's happening up on the screen, you know the deal. You are the viewer and you matter most. That's why I do videos, even on vacation. Bringing you the news, baby. Mike Schoolcraft says hbar is at half price of what it should be. Buying hbar in Cardano. All right. Let me know, what do you think right now is at a super discount, okay? Don't tell me what you're buying. Tell me what you think right now is at a mega discount. Thank you, Mike, for sharing us your vibes. Eric Lester's hanging out and says, the government is a bag of huangs. You have to say it correctly, huangs. And the people keep voting for these retards, and there's no hope when the people are too stupid to vote for their own interest. Agreed. Vote them all out. Keep voting fuckers out until they do right. And if that doesn't work for a few cycles, we get a new system. Ooh, fear and greed index is down to 20. Why? A lot of liquidation tip. We're going to talk about it. Altcoin season? No, it's Bitcoin season right now. 26 out of 100. Volume? Absolutely mind-blowing. $250 billion right now in volume. So you know the exchanges are making the money. Heat map, let's do it, baby. Bitcoin, 104,297 ETH is 34.65. XP is at 229, while ADA is at 54 cents. Is ADA a discount at this price? Let me know. Doge at 16.8. SWI is right around that $2 mark. And, well, everyone, we're kind of making some progress. Crypto's fear and greed index drops to 20 following a $2 billion leverage flush. That's right. Got a lot less, fear in the market. No, actually not true. We have a lot of fear in the market. People are still shitting themselves. They're still freaked out about the government, and they're still worried about regs not getting done this year, and they're also worried about the Fed. Speaking of the Fed, Fed's Miriam says December rate cut would be reasonable. Here's the problem we have with the Fed. Some people are like, yo, we want the cuts. Others are like, I don't know, I think we're fine. I think the problem is you fuckers didn't cut soon enough, and now we're eating a big job crap market poop sandwich. Fed Governor Stephen Merriam views a December interest rate cut as he sees it as a reasonable path forward. Merriam warns that tight policy, aka leaving rates too high for too long, may increase the risk of an economic downturn, advocating for rate adjustments. Love it. Federal Reserve Governor Stephen Merriam indicated on November 5th, hey, that's today. That's breaking. That's why you hit the subscribe button, because I bring you news all over the crypto place. Not just, we're going to be to $10,000 on Friday bullshit, and then some cockamamie shit-ass article that ain't real. Merriam publicly warned that maintaining a tight policy could risk triggering an economic downturn, emphasizing the need for proactive rate adjustments. I think you guys are a little late for proactive rate adjustments. The other big problem is this. Is if the AI bubble doesn't start yielding some profits, people are going to freak out. AI is like the biggest investment right now, and no companies investing in AI are making any money on it. Galaxy slashes the Bitcoin price target for 2025 as BTC enters its maturity area. Shut the fuck up with these things. Galaxy told its clients on Wednesday that it's slashing the end of the year target for BTC from 185,000 to 120. Essentially what Galaxy is saying is this. Look, we told all of you that BTC was going to roar to 185 so you would feel comfortable putting your money in. Now that your money's in, Galaxy is like, oh, wait. We were just filling you with hopium. We were full of shit. We were doing the XRP $10,000 by Friday thing. That's what they were doing right there. So now they've brought it back down to 120,000. Essentially what they're saying is, they believe the government shutdown is going to end and crypto is going to rebound about 10-ish% from where we are now, 10 to 15%. The institutional crypto firm's note said that Bitcoin has entered a new phase, which Galaxy calls the maturity era. During this phase, it explained that institutional absorption, passive flows, and lower volatility will dominate. For that reason, future gains may come at a slower rate, meaning that it predicts Bitcoin will only near its previous all-time highs by the end of the year. Galaxy, where were you coming at with your 185,000? Do you know how much of like a change that is? I mean, imagine this. Imagine you and your wife, right? Were told by a real estate agent that your house is going to sell for $185,000. You're like, oh, this is great. We bought our house super cheap. We'll make a lot of money. And then that same real estate agent is like, to be honest with you, I think your house is probably only worth $120,000. And you're like, yeah, that's kind of what happened. Ripple raised a whole bunch of money. I talked about that in an earlier video. How do you feel about that? More money for Ripple to buy things. But it's got to have out the price of XRP, or else do we really give a shit? More on that soon, because Schwartz talks about exactly that. Senator Loomis advances the crypto bill and the BTC reserve options. Look, the BTC reserve, the crypto reserve, is not going to go anywhere without avoiding adding debt, right? The U.S. isn't going to spend money on accumulating BTC or crypto. They'll get it from what? From confiscations, seizures, and stuff like that. But they're not going to add debt to buy crypto. But Loomis is pushing the crypto market structure bill, co-authored with Senator Christian Gillibrand. Now remember, this is the Senate's version. You have the Clarity version in the House, which has already passed the House, and it's been sitting on the Senate's desk for a long time. See, I told you shit don't get done there. Now you've got the Senate doing their own. They're looking for a comprehensive regulatory framework for digital assets in los Estados Unidos. The legislation addresses market oversight, consumer protections, and innovation incentives. Okay. The bill builds on years of discussion in Congress. That's also a big problem. We've been talking about regs for years, and we still don't have them. This collaborative approach contrasts with previous stalled. And look, we're not going to go anywhere until what? Until the shutdown ends. Now, David Schwartz, all right, has been talking. Now, I got to be honest with you, this is pretty interesting. Basically, there's a big debate going on X that says, look, the price of XRP would be higher if Ripple was not involved. Essentially saying, look, Ripple is dumping on the market. All the plans that they do don't use XRP. They use RLUSD. Everything they're buying is for institutional stuff. All of Ripple payments pushes RLUSD, not XRP. And that's what people are saying. David's like, whoa, that makes no sense. He's basically saying that XRP would be worth less if Ripple wasn't with it. Unless somehow, the value would be lower when you buy lower and sell it. Look. I'm just going to bring this to you. People are just upset. They're upset that Ripple dumps every month on the market, and they don't see a return in the XRP price, right? They don't see a return in the XRP usage. Remember when XRP got the quote clarity from Judge Torres, and people were like, XRP got clarity. This paved the way for us to use XRP for payments. And then it never happened. And then when you check the XRP ledger thing, no one's using it for payments really. So people have been like, yo, Ripple, you kind of suck. You're using XRP to fund your expeditions and your fund and your purchases, but you aren't doing anything with it. Now, Garlinghouse is excited. Why? Because they just raised $500 million from Citi Securities, Pantera Capital, and Galaxy. Brevin Howard and Marshall. Basically, what they got was extra money to buy things. More vertical integration. Look at this fucking winner of a chart right here. This was touted as one of the best projects on Stellar, period. Again, hopium, right? Just like Galaxy Digital. Oh, BTC is going to be 180,000 by the end of the year. 185, they said. Now it's saying 120. Maybe people need to kind of reevaluate. Oh, but Aqua's not going to do shit. It just screwed early investors over. Early investors were the cash cows for devs. Oh, Klaus, you're telling the truth. Yes, I am. XRP's at $2.30. Volume's right now at 8.4 billion. We are getting a little bit of a rebound right here, but I want to show you something, okay? Look at this. See what I got up on the screen? Rothschild. That's the crypto market cap, the total crypto market cap. Right now we're sitting at 3.46 trillion. In that last liquidation event, we got to 3.3 trillion, okay? Now look, that's bad. You could see we've lost from 4.3 trillion. I mean, we've lost quite a bit, $800 billion in market cap. In fact, we lost what? 1.1 trillion from the peak, right? Right back here, 30 days ago. Okay, now do this though. Zoom out to the year and what do you notice? Okay, we went from 2.3 trillion to now 3.4 trillion. Okay, so it's going up. Now zoom out all time. See, not every chart just goes straight up. There's going to be pullbacks, there's going to be dips, there's going to be concerns, there's going to be liquidation events. But again, what people are talking about is if you're in for this for the long, you're going to be okay. And that's what Galaxy is saying, except for the fact that their fucking price prediction for BTC was completely nuts. But they're basically saying, look, if you zoom out, BTC is just going to make steady gains over time. And if you look at the crypto market cap, well, everyone, steady gains over time. But it would nice to see XRP being used by Ripple. But right now, all Ripple is doing is using XRP to fund their operations and buy stuff. Dongs, bongs, and gongs. All things that I like to... No, Klaus, no. I brought up the Senator Gillibrand thing and Loomis thing up for a reason, and it's like the Senate now wants to do their own thing, so we got kind of a problem here, okay? You got first the Clarity Act in the House. Okay, we'll put the Clarity Act right here. Okay, Senate will be here. Clarity Act will be here. Okay, you got the Clarity Act in the House. That passed the House and now is over into the Senate, okay? So you've got the House version here sitting in the Senate. You also have the Senate making their own version here. And we know these politicians got egos, so the big problem we got is now are they going to be looking at this going, we don't like the House version Clarity Act. We like the Senate's version. And then they work on getting the Senate one through. Well, then that has to go for the House for approval. And, well, now we start talking about more time. And time is something we don't have right now because the government shutdown keeps going on. And we're going to be pushing up to midterm election races. And this is going to be a big one because the Dems want to seize control of either the House or the Senate during that time. So, now that you have the Senate doing their own version and the House has theirs, you might have a little bit of a conflict here rather than just having one bill that they kind of work through and push on. Yeah, regs might have a problem, and that problem seems to be getting worse because the longer we go, well, the longer we don't have reg-a-ronies, which is important because BTC and ETH have been given the golden pass, and you've seen what's happened with them. Now, in terms of XRP, to be honest with you, it's a little bothersome, I don't know what fucking word I want to use, a little bothersome that Ripple doesn't really promote XRP. You don't really hear about them talk about it with settlements. You don't hear them talk about it with payments. They don't really do much with it. They pimp RLUSD, and the reason they pimp RLUSD is because they make so much money on that one product. When Tether did their report, okay, on USDT, their profitability was 99% on that product. 99%. Yo, that's nuts. Like, that is crazy. So it's no wonder companies out there are pimping what? Stable coins like RLUSD, USDC, Circle. They make a lot of money on that stuff. But it is frustrating because you keep seeing Ripple do all this stuff with vertical integration, all this custody stuff, and yet it's like, well, you going to mention XRP or are you just going to use it to fund yourselves? So that's where that big debate on X is coming from right now. Every crypto company out there does this, right? TRX dumps TRX, Stellar dumps XLM, Ripple dumps XLM. Everyone does it, okay? That's just how it works. Now, the problem is you're getting the value for it. So if Ripple's dumping a bunch of XRP in the market, you're sitting here going, but I own XRP, and are you using it for anything? And Ripple's like, no, we're using RLUSD, so go fuck yourself. And you're like, oh, damn it. So that's where we're stuck right now. Are we looking at them going, okay, you're using all this money for the value. Is it to help you out or is it to help XRP holders? And the reality is Ripple doesn't have any allegiance to XRP. They do, though, to their private shareholders. That's why they've been doing everything they can to make their private stock worth more. That's just the truth. Now, I did just get done with a 5-mile run. Thank you very much. My hair is still wet and a bit fluffy. I put a little conditioner in it, as you could see, so now I've got a little extra volume in my hair. I don't have as much volume as the crypto market, but heck, that means exchanges are making money, right? So choo-choo what? Choo-choo government shutdown. Be nice if a train ran over those fuckers. Oh, and choo-choo bitches.